Now are we working? Yes, Libra. Almost fucked that up. There's sound now. Libra, you missed what I was saying, so let me re-say it again. We have a wonderful month of astrological goodies for you. 2023, yes, of course, there is a lot of alignment. There's a lot of getting on track. There's a lot of kind of just getting your shit together, being asked to function and focus on your purpose, which means, what do you do in life that makes you feel fulfilled? What do you do where it feels good to be you and you're doing what you feel like you need to be doing, right? Yeah, Venus is retrograding, your ruling planet, for much of August. And yes, there is a Mercury retrograde that's taking place right when Virgo season starts on August 23rd. And yes, there are two full moons, which typically can be like very emotionally not taxing, but like you need to go inside and kind of feel what's going on. And, also you're being asked like, what can you let go? What's no longer serving you? But for the most part, you just have a lot of harmonious aspects playing out astrologically. We'll get into the cards and see what those have to say as well, but it's going to be a fun month. That's like the main theme I would say that you can look forward to experiencing is fun and kind of like carefreeness, not to the point of being like reckless and there are no rules or anything, but like you really can let yourself like go this month. You can really like enjoy everything that's coming your way, and there's going to be a lot to enjoy. So Leo season is particularly nice for you if you're a sun sign Libra. And a reminder, this reading is for sun, moon, rising, and Venus. And you're all going to have different placements where the houses line up. But if you're a sun uh, Libra, then the 11th house, your house of friendships, your house of kind of social interactions, is being totally brightened up by Leo. And that's great. That's a lot of like fiery, fun energy. It's a great placement. It speaks to really having fun with your friends and potentially meeting a lot of new people. It also points to like if there's any restrictive, and this is kind of where the cards are talking in this first point, but there may be some restrictive energy that pops up here at points. That's your sign to like toss that shit. Let it go. Like you have no need for anyone or any vibe that's really like trying to get you to be smaller, do less, not do that, not go after that thing, not dream big, not like really go for it. If there's any naysayers in your life, you don't toss them like, garbage out of your life, but you kind of minimize the importance that they have in terms of like clarity or advice or wisdom or insight, just because that's not the vibe you need right now. You don't need people telling you, don't do this, don't do that. This is really your chance to kind of like grow and shine and kind of do whatever the fuck you want to do. Feel me? Follow excitement. Reject anything that really kind of isn't exciting you. This is a month to really pursue the things that like catch your fancy or are really interesting to you. Like, don't. This isn't the month to be austere, right? This isn't the month to like say, oh well, maybe I shouldn't. I should do this and I shan't do that. No, it's like do whatever the fuck you want because your intuition and your energy is aligned typically with your interests this month, right? Towards the end of the month, things are going to slow down a little bit. You do have Mercury retrograde. Venus will be fully retrograding at that point, and it's going to be like an introspective period. It's not slowing down or like retarding growth in a destructive way. It's just like, hey, maybe relax, maybe take a break, maybe just kind of enjoy taking it easy, chilling out, watching a movie, just laying out in the sun, that type of stuff, as opposed to like the beginning part of the month where maybe you go out, you travel a little bit, you go on vacation, you hang out at places you haven't been to, that type of stuff. Being in nature is always a good thing to do for you, Libra. But that first 2/3 of the month, probably that's when I would recommend doing that. And then towards the end of the month, maybe have less plans, right? Plans may be a little hard to keep. And we know Libra, like you like to be on time. You like to be scheduling things accordingly and have people show up at the right time. Even if you don't always do that, you expect it from others. And that's when some of those things could start to take place, is towards the last third of August. So just be aware of that. Venus and Sun also really bringing you very nice energy. So again, we're talking about love, expression, joy, innocence, happiness. That's like your month is, I'm telling you. So I started in reverse chronological order for Zodiac signs this month. So we started with Pisces, and now we've gotten to you, Libra, right in the middle here. By far, like no shame on other signs. Yours is like the clear, the planets are with you. Like you're one of the signs where it's just like, okay, you got the good energy this month. You're going to be feeling it. Don't let anyone tell you shit isn't going to be good, because it is. But just remember the last part of the month, maybe slow it down just a little bit. Take some time for yourself, go inside. But otherwise, it's like a great month for expanding your social circle, meeting new people, really like getting interested in new types of people, even just because the relationships you form now are going to be genuine. They're going to be authentic. They're going to be coming from the right place, right? This isn't someone trying to get something from someone else, whether that's you in a relationship or someone else. This is just like really like a great auspicious time for meeting new people and just like starting good, awesome friendships, or even strengthening newer friendships. This month also, like, this is where you're going to use some of your Libra skills. Organization, planning, that type of stuff is going to be something that you probably want to do, especially around matters of health, right? Yes, physical health, but also just like mental, emotional, psychological health. You're definitely going to want to really like focus and get organized about those things. It's not about really necessarily like developing a plan and doing it this month in August. It's about thinking about what you can do to be healthier in a lot of ways, or in a bunch of ways that maybe you haven't considered, or maybe you have considered but you haven't implemented yet. But really getting organized about that is going to be an important. That's not how these were. Trying to trick me. But yeah, your keywords for Libra for this month: balance, harmony, and justice. That's just kind of your vibe in general. It's just like very Libra-like. And yeah, we'll talk about two of the kind of interesting energies you probably want to stay aware of. August 15th, the moon squares Mars. So that could be some like issues related to conflict and tension, especially around, not family. That's a Freudian slip, around feelings and plans. Maybe like, this person isn't doing that for me, or I'm supposed to be getting that and they're not doing it, or are they expecting me to do something and I didn't do it? Just be aware of any like emotional tension right around there. The moon moves very quickly, so it's not going to be something that's going to be like you're dwelling on. But if there's a little thing that pings up there, just mark it on the calendar. Be like, okay, this is that thing. No biggie. Going to move right past it. And we got a few more things. The moon conjuncts Jupiter on August 22nd. This is right before Virgo season, and this is where those new opportunities and experiences are likely to flow into your life. So if you've met people earlier in the month, or you're meeting people then, right in time to like really grow and develop with those people. And then finally, this is the last kind of like be aware of it thing. The moon squares Saturn on August 29th, and there's just a bit of restriction and limitation during those times. So if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, just you can morph those feelings. Don't let them like turn into feelings of inadequacy. Allow them to kind of like grow into feelings of like, okay, there's some aspect of myself I need to look at and mature in. Not that like I'm being condemned for this way. So as long as you have that proper perspective, there's just like a few times that kind of that tension and conflict may pop up for you. Otherwise, it's going to be an overwhelmingly positive month. Like I'm very confident in that. So just, patience, understanding for the tension times, and then otherwise just like enjoy yourself. So let's talk about some of these. We're going to start here with the 7 of Wands, the 9 of Swords reversed, and then the 10 of Pentacles reversed, which is a very interesting card. And this is where I think we may be dealing with themes of kind of conflict or tension. So the 7 of Wands here upright really has to do with like defending a position. You see this card and like, it's this guy theoretically like fighting off people who he has the high ground, right? And that's important to recommend. And he's fighting them off. There's no actual like hitting or like actual conflict right now, but it's very defensive posture, right? And what this usually points to is there's some aspect of your life, something you're doing, something you're thinking, where you're feeling challenged by other people's opinions or the world or society or whatever it is, and you're defensive about it. The key is to not let that defensiveness turn into anger or rage or something that puts you at odds with people who maybe aren't agreeing with you, or a idea you have that doesn't fit in perfectly to what other people are thinking, just don't let that turn into like rage and anger and like acting out against the other people. It's about maintaining your ground. You'll notice there is the high ground there. This isn't someone like defending some other position. The high ground does implicate that this is probably something valid. You probably feel some sense of defensiveness, not because you're wrong, not because it's incorrect, but because there is probably some sense of justice and fairness. And for a Libra, you kind of feel obligated to honor those things. You are very much interested in the fairness and justice of the world. You want those scales to be balanced. So it's understandable that you may feel kind of defensive or really kind of dig in if someone is challenging something you are doing or something you believe. And they're kind of coming at you, but as long as you don't let that turn into like rage or like anger at another, it's fine. You're good. And the Nine of Swords here reverse absolutely points to that. That's like the overcoming of anxiety. It's the overcoming of fear and kind of like nightmares, right? I mean, look at the card upright. Obviously, it's like one of the easiest cards. Show this card to anyone who doesn't know anything about tarot and ask them what they think about it and see if they can get it. So when you see it reversed, it's a lot of like really being able to look at those anxieties and fears and overcome them in a tangible and helpful and meaningful way. Now, I say the Ten of Pentacles reverse is an interesting card because this may be where the broader theme is coming in for you, Libra, right? So we're dealing with pentacles, we're dealing with earth, physicality, can be money, can be finances. And when we talk about the Ten of Pentacles in particular, we're talking about like long-term kind of relationships, legacy, looking back, like what have you established for like the overall kind of picture or shape of your life related to values of legacy, what you'd like your life to stand for, what you'd like it to reflect, those types of questions. And when we see it with pentacles, this can absolutely have to do in the realm of finances or just social circles kept, just people you are associating with professionally even. And it can absolutely be matters of family too, because family is a key theme on the pentacles. We see the man with his two dogs and, maybe either a daughter or a son and potentially getting married, or maybe they're his kids. There's some clearly like family with the wizened man looking on with it. And there may be just a bit of conflict or tension. So this could also even be maybe you're having tension with someone in your life because of the way they perceive you're living your life, and maybe you are starting to be influenced by that in a way that's making you feel like not so good, or maybe you are questioning kind of your behavior. This month is really to show you that though, like you kind of can shape and do the things you want to do. Don't take it to a reckless place where you're just like disregarding everyone's opinion. You're like, I'm the best, I know best all the time. That's not what I'm talking about, but you should be able to intuitively suss out like what's working, what's not. How would you like to kind of shine in these situations and allow yourself to express in a way that's kind of by example that you got your shit, that you're doing everything you're supposed to do. But you may have some opinions coming from other people where it's like, do you really know what you're doing? Like, is this any way to live a life? Is this really the goals? And I don't think it's going to be a lot of that, but it could be some. Sun reversed. Devil. Knight of Cups. Really interesting. So Sun reversed, right? This is the ability to feel innocence, joy, happiness. And if there's any distortions there leading into August, I have a feeling that they will probably be dealt with succinctly. One reason that could be coming up when we're looking at the devil is this could be habitual patterns or habits that you have that are potentially stopping you from feeling joy and happiness. This doesn't mean they have to be coming from habits, but there could also be some attachment to something physical or earth-based that's really restricting you or making you feel like there's something in between you and your ability to feel happiness. Also, if you're engaging in some habit and it no longer is bringing you any joy, like I recently quit smoking. I started smoking. I've smoked for like 2-year periods a couple times in my life. And, I just realized in the last week, really, I used to tell people, well, I'm smoking because I like smoking. And then I realized like a week ago, I'm like, I don't think I like smoking anymore. why am I doing it? What's the reason that I'm continuing with this habit? Oh, well, I don't think I actually have a reason. Yes, I like smoking things. I can smoke weed. There's plenty of things to smoke. I can deal with my oral fixation stuff later. It's just I realized I wasn't getting what I originally was getting out of smoking cigarettes. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stop cigarettes. And, depending on what it is, it may be more challenging or not challenging. But if there's something in your life that you've been doing habitually and it's no longer giving you kind of the same juice that you got when you first started doing it, this could be anything. This could be sex. This could be a relationship. This could be a way of making money. I mean, there's anything in your life. But if it's just kind of you're doing it on autopilot and hitting like the routine button, that's not it. That's not something you want. And this Knight of Cups here really points to being able to see that and feel that emotionally before moving on and making that decision on whether you want to continue to do that thing. Really check in with yourself emotionally. And I wouldn't be surprised if throughout the month, let's say you're like relatively hedonistic the first 2/3 of this month, and then that Mercury and Venus retrograde really start to hit you the last part of it. And you're like, fuck, I got to like think about what I'm doing. These would be the areas where you can kind of gently shine your intuitive, emotional safety net and see, like, is this hitting me in the right place? Is this something I want to continue with? Is this something that is really for my benefit? Is it helping me? Is it hurting me? But really emotionally feeling like secure that you want to continue or embark even on something that you feel kind of on the fence about. So it's interesting energy, and I think it's probably there's probably enough of you who have something like that going on. You're like, oh fuck yeah, I know what that is. Let me just take some time. But you don't have to like give it up, because it's not saying give it up. It's just saying pass it through your emotions. You're allowed to do what you want, but if it's no longer giving you the thing that you were originally getting from it, why are you doing it is the question, right? Animal Oracle. Make your dreams real. Spider Spirit. We love that. Libra, especially when we're talking about dreams, you air sign, you. Bat Spirit, a rebirth is assured. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good month. I'm almost... And then here we go. Butterfly Spirit, transformation is beautiful. Look at that. You got one thing that eats insects and then 2 insects, right? So again, this points to like it being a very auspicious month for like really actualizing the things that you want to do. Like there are people who sometimes have a hard or difficulty with enjoying the peaks, enjoying the parts of life that are meant to be enjoyed. Some people feel inherent guilt about it. Some people feel that something will go wrong to balance that out, because if you're feeling this good, there has to be that counter energy. Some people will just get caught in like, how long is this going to last? And they can't enjoy it in the moment. And those types of things really prevent us from appreciating the parts of life that we're actually meant to appreciate. So if you don't have the courage to actually like go after peak experiences that you think are really like important for you to have or to feel or just go through, it leaves you in a perpetual state of kind of like always feeling like you're not doing enough or like your potential isn't being met. And there's this huge, vast realm of things that you could be doing and experiencing that you're not going to and you're not allowing to happen. And that's not what you're supposed to be doing, especially this month, Libra. Like you're supposed to be going after those bigger experiences, those grander kind of larger than life, dreams, like not limiting yourself in any way and really being comfortable with experiencing that and not expecting the other shoe to drop, not expecting some reason that these experiences are going to end. Yeah, I mean, listen, here's the truth. Everything is temporary. Like I was saying on a podcast I just did with my friend Sean and Cass yesterday, like even if you find someone who's very happy, very at peace with themselves, very like in tune and aligned, I guarantee if you ask them their experience of life, it's not going to be just a straight shot up of excellence and having it together and everything working out. There are these oscillations and dips and peaks that happen just naturally from living life. And the question is then, well, are you just supposed to be rocked on a roller coaster all the time? Or do you want to actually get to the point where you have the proper perspective when things are maybe dipping a little bit and have the proper perspective on the way up and have the proper perspective when you're feeling like you're peaking at a peak experience, and then having the proper perspective when things start to fade. That's just the natural process. And like astrology also teaches us that, especially with the moon, how quickly it moves through the phases and how it even visually appears different in the sky for us. Like everything has its phase and everything is temporary, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't be enjoying the aspects of our life that are meant to be enjoyed. And I think you're going to have a pretty good, I can feel it, a pretty good taste of the good stuff in life in August. And just remind yourself, if you are kind of self-doubting that, or like waiting for the other shoe to drop, that that's not really what you're supposed to be doing right now. You're supposed to be enjoying it and having a good time and feeling well and like really transforming in a way into a person who's capable of doing that. If you have been restricted in the past from feeling, you know, like there's something in your life you've always wanted to do, but it's just you don't know that you can do it, like breaking free of those shackles and kind of stepping into the life that you've always wanted to live is something that's obviously possible, but something you have to believe and feel and kind of feel liberated to get there. And I think you're probably going to have enough opportunities and situations in August to really start like envisioning that and like having it show up in your reality. Again, it's a wonderful month for expanding your social circle, right? And that's a really easy thing to do. You just have to be open and receptive to it. I'm not saying you need to go out and like cold call people to be your friends, but Libras in general, I'm sure if you look at your life and anyone who talks about Libras, like they do not have a hard time making friends. It's like one of the easiest and most sociable sign. You have Venus as a ruling planet. You probably attract people and get along with people incredibly well naturally. So if you have the intention of kind of expanding your social circle and meeting some new and interesting people, I have no little doubt that you can actually make that a reality, especially in August. So it's just something to keep in mind. Pull some threads of fate. Release. And again, this is like perfect stuff. Like the August starts off with a full moon, right? Literally August 1st. I think it's a Pisces. Is it the Aquarius one at the end? I may have that backwards. But there's a full moon at the end of the month as well. So we start off with this like massive blast of energy, the observer. And then we also end with this massive blast of energy. And full moons are very much about release. Like it's letting things go. And because things have come to their like most full aspect. And from there, the energy wanes. Then trust. And what we want to kind of take those times and periods to do is get in touch with our emotions. If you're naturally someone who is very in touch with their emotions and honors the way that you feel and is comfortable kind of processing and dealing with the way you're feeling, then full moons are particularly great times for identifying areas of your life where emotionally things don't feel so great and really investigating those and being like, what is going on here? In addition to those two full moons bookending either end of the month, you have Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde, which you think Mercury retrograde, like, oh, things go wrong, makes things complicated. Oh, I'm going to blame it on Mercury retrograde. And then you look at Venus retrograde and you might think the same thing. Oh, well, matters of love are going to get more difficult or relationships are going to get harder. And that's not really what's going on. I'm not saying that can't happen, but Venus retrograde, which I believe is once every 2 years, something like that. It's a time for reviewing things, especially over the past couple of years, and like viewing how love has worked and functioned in your life over the past 2 years, over the past however long, 6 months, doesn't have to be 2 years for you, but over a broad enough period of time where it's like, okay, like what's going on with how I experience love? Is it something I'm comfortable with? Am I capable of loving myself? Am I not capable of doing that? Where am I having issues doing that? Am I capable of loving another person or committing to the love of something, an area or interest in life? So it's about reflecting on those things. So a lot of the energy this month is kind of just watching and feeling and seeing like, where can I let go? Where does it serve me to let go? Where can I embrace kind of the things that make me feel unconditional love and in a state of kind of grace and harmony? But we see the frog here with the release, and that's like a key thing I want to point out, what happens with release. So when there's a release of something, just like if you think of the frog's leg, it propels you upward, right? There is a motion that you get lighter, and that power is generated where it propels you to a different state of consciousness. We often think of release as like this passive kind of, oh, well, I haven't done that. I'm just letting something go. There's no activity really in that. If you've ever surrendered to something or actually let something go, it is a very powerful state of consciousness. It's not something that people experience all that often either, because it is kind of difficult to let things go at times, especially if they're like very big and important to you. To actually like make a shift in that way of life can be difficult. And this can be with themes of addiction. It can be in relationships. It can be just in a way you view something, and a belief structure that you've had that's maybe being challenged. So what's up, New Mono? So there's a lot of things that maybe you have to kind of look at, or have to look at, I should say, that, you got to re-examine what you need to let go, what's no longer functioning. And you're going to have a lot of opportunity to do that month. Just for you, Libra, it's going to be like a very fun time. So don't like forget that there maybe is a little bit of introspective work you need to do, but like you don't have to dwell on any of this stuff. Don't let any energy of introspectiveness kind of dampen the awesome month you're going to have. Like, listen, the planets are in the sky. They do what they do. They create aspects. They go into certain houses. They have, squares with each other, and sextiles and trines and oppositions and conjunctions. And you can believe that they have some influence. You can believe it's just random coincidence. But having some idea of what the planets are saying, and being able to see the differences across signs. Like, take it from me that I had never really looked at all of the signs in a given month and got an overview of what all of the distinct energies are based on what's going on with those signs. And I can tell you, having done that now, this is like, the 18th one in the past month that I've done this for. When the planets are on your side and they're creating harmonious energy, like, enjoy it, take advantage of it, because it's not always going to be like that. Even when you have these planets retrograding during, August, it's like kind of harmonious for you. There's not a lot of planets doing any restriction dancing. There's no like tough squares. I mean, listen, your individual natal chart may encompass aspects of those, but as a general sign, the energy is like very much in Libra's favor. So it's a great month to let go of things that maybe otherwise would have been a challenging time, or you've had difficulty doing that. Yeah, all right. So Nature's Whispers, show your support. Where is it? There we go. This is like also a good time to embrace and help your friends if you're in a position to. You always are in a position to. Bountiful harvest. That sounds correct. Hold on, let me just move these. I'll keep this out so you can read. And illumination. It's very Libra. These are very Librian cards. This is like very Venusian there. So yeah, I mean, like, here's the deal. Like, you're going to be someone who's fun to be around in August. You are probably going to have people wanting to confide in you, tell you things, share their experiences, look for your support. Like, this is the month to embody kind of the archetype of Venus, Aphrodite, right? So also love the reading. Ice got lots of Libra. Yeah, I am up early today, Plan. I mean, I got to get these done. I'm up, by the way, like most days at 5:30. I have a 2-year-old who's like half sleep trained. So you'd be surprised what my schedules are. I don't have the luxury of sleeping in. So this is actually like 8 o'clock is like fucking, this is like the middle of the day for me usually. But yeah, I mean, really, 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 like, this month you're in your power zone, Libra. It's just a good month to be a rock for people to lean on, but also your own rock, like your own best friend. Your ability to really like feel good is amplified to a very high degree. You should probably be feeling some of that energy as we roll into August in the next few days. That full moon that's starting August 1st That's the perfect time to let any tension or conflict or kind of restrictiveness go. You can literally start the first day of August kind of letting it go in a full moon type of like conscious, subconscious way. Especially feelings that feel restrictive, like that's the time to really let those go. So you can start the month with kind of a fresh perspective and start and just like a good way to get things going, because it's probably going to be a really good month for you to be able to do that. Um, yeah, the kids. Yeah, you get it. It's just how things be. What can you do? Pull some threads of fate. What was that? Oh, thanks for the resub, Plan Alpha. Appreciate it. We got Twitch stuff going on. I'm actually, by the way, very close to being able to stream over on TikTok. I have like 700 something followers. I think once I get to 1,000, then those shackles are left off. So let me take this time also to say something about for patrons related to these readings. So I'm going to be sharing for each reading, like when I post these in the Patreon, a hemisync picked out for your sign based on these readings. So the hemisync is basically the hemispheres of the brain when they get synchronized through tones and tonal generation. It creates, I've been using it for about a week. It's from this guy, Robert Monroe, who wrote Journeys Out of the Body, like started having all these out of body experiences in like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. It's been studied scientifically. They've had an institute for like a long time. It's a reputable thing. I've known about it for years, but I recently found a bunch of them and they're pretty awesome. And so I will post about downloading this player called Vox, which allows you to play high quality uncompressed audio files on an iPhone. I'm not sure about Android. But if you download that, I'll be sharing these files that you can load onto your phone, use headphones, and it will apply to the month of August. So I'll be posting these in the next couple of days up on the Patreon, and they will come with the HemiSync link where you can also download that and put it on your phone. So that'll be cool. And Libra, let's just say like yours is going to be like adventure, like discovery, like really like having some fun and going some places and like feeling really good. So stay tuned for that if you're a patron. I think you will enjoy it quite a bit. Those things are really tough to get to. They're only on audio CD. So I was lucky enough to find a bunch of them. So I downloaded those, but like it's weird to me like how this place hasn't kind of moved to digital downloads. And like I understand maybe because it's like uncompressed files and you don't want to lose that quality, but like guys, it's a restrictive to have an audio CD. I was like, where would I even play that? I think I have the USB thing you hook up and it plays the CD, but it's like, Jesus Christ, guys, like I want this on my phone on the go. Like a CD is not the way to be operating in 2023. So yeah. Oh, one thing I wanted to also mention that on the 27th, right before that full moon on the 30th, you also have Mars entering Libra in a positive way. So that gives you a boost of energy and kind of like extra like oomph to like go into the ending part of the month. So there's just like these key moments staggered or like positioned in the month for you where it's like, this is a nice feeling. Here's some energy. Here's some ability to process things. Here's some great social boost like energy. And I already mentioned for sun sign Libras, you have that 11th house action going on with Leo. That's just like, you really are going to be like the star of your social group in a lot of ways. And I don't think that's, uncommon for Libras, or at least like you'd love to feel like that. But like, this is just like, you're at your top of your game. It's just going to be a month of positivity, harmony. Things are going to feel attuned for the most part. And it's just like, your Librian qualities of like harmony, balance, beauty, fairness, justice, those things like should be shining through in the best possible way. So people will probably look to you in one way or the other for like, hey, like they really got their shit together. Like, can you can you give me some advice on what's going on? And just be there for them. You don't have to have any advice. You don't have to say anything if you don't feel like you have it. But in general, it's just going to be a really nice thing. Okay, there we go. We like that. 3 of Cups. I pulled it like that. It was going to be reversed, but that's not how I've been pulling them. High Priestess. And the Ace of Swords. That's pretty good stuff there. Three of Cups speaks to kind of like not only the harvest time and celebration of like getting the rewards and just being rewarded for the time spent, but you can see like there's three women like having fun. They're celebrating together. And that's like a very nice kind of encapsulation of what August should feel like for you, Libra. High Priestess too, right? So you have this divine feminine energy. It's a passive, accepting, generative energy. I don't mean passive in the sense that like it's not doing anything, but it's allowing things to come to it as the divine feminine does, rather than going and performing or doing something as we see the magician doing, embodying the masculine kind of metaphysical properties. So the divine feminine here is, again, another sign of that Venusian energy. It's creation, it's joy. There's also, though, the destructive aspects of the High Priestess. We see that with the Black Peace Queen as well. So, you know, this is the letting go of stuff. This is the point when you have those two full moons, or you're reviewing things because of Venus retrograde, or there are communication issues and some tension and conflict coming up. It's like, what are you being asked to let go? Or what are you being asked to like destroy so you can alter a relationship or something going on in your life that's really just not serving you anymore? So don't forget that it's not just like, yay, fun, positivity, love, this is the best. Like, yeah, it's of course that, but you're constantly being asked to look at aspects of your life that are not maybe in tune or not aligned with the way you want to feel. And really just like taking a look at that emotionally, not quickly just lopping things off and destroying them, but seeing like, where can I maybe alter the energy where it's feeling a little bit distorted at times. And then Ace of Swords, right? Again, that clarity with growth being a key part of it, but also really getting the fruit. I want you to zoom in there. Can we zoom in? Right. And we see the wreath actually have this berries, and then that there's that vegetative growth on the other side. So that represents both growth in terms of, you know, a process where you're growing and learning, but you're also getting something from the growth. There's a flower, or a berry in this case, that's being produced. So you're actually producing stuff through that growth as well. And it's the right hand holding the sword, right? The hand of logic, analysis. This would be the left brain aspects, right? The left brain controls the right side of our body. We're talking about logic, analysis, kind of things related to that logic, and you know, your ability to clearly see those things. This is an air sign, swords representing airs in the air in the tarot. So this is going to be like ideas percolating in your mind, clear thoughts, clear action, you know, especially in the realm of like having to make decisions or sussing out something, either an issue or a problem that you're looking at. You're going to have the ability to kind of like swiftly make decisions and maybe even lead to like a brand new aspect of your life, whether that's a friendship, a career, just some new avenue of life that kind of you can see very clearly and take action on. So yeah, you got a good month, Libra. Like, that's all I can say. You know, listen, every month has its challenges, it has its ups, it has its downs. But when the energy is in your favor, you say, thank you, stars, thank you, planets. I will accept that. I will ride that wave as much as I can. You know, any relationship or someone that makes you feel restricted this month, August, no need to engage with that. No need to deal with that. That's just like red flag goes up if someone's trying to restrict you or, you know, push something on you or just like stop you from doing something that you feel like you need to be doing. That is not, that energy is not present in a helpful way this month. So you can look at that and be like, fuck that. No, I'm not going to do that. It's really about alignment. It's really about your community and your relationships. Like, that's what this month is for. It's having fun and thriving and prospering in those areas in your life, not, you know, people saying, no, you can't do that. No, you got to do this. That's not, you will have those months. You will have the stars tell you and planets tell you that, hey, it's for maturation. It's for responsibility. It's for accountability. That's not this month for you. This month is fun. It should be light. It should be easy. It should be any kind of authoritative energy being, you know, saying you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. That's not it. That's not for you. So you got a good one. Stay tuned, patrons, for the Hemisync thing. I'll have those up in the next couple of days. But this has been fun. Good one, Libra.